Hey everybody, welcome back to Rotisserie on the Run. I wanted to give you an up close and personal look at the dishes that we just made. Now, for those of us that are living lives that are on the go, maybe we're taking care of older adults in our lives or even little ones, a rotisserie chicken is a great grocery go-to item. It's one that I use and I kind of see it as an item that can take on different personalities depending on what dish we put it in. So I shared with everyone 4 of my favorite ways to use a rotisserie chicken, and you can take this ideas and make it your own. Do whatever you want in your kitchen, but this will kind of give you some ideas to think about. So the first one is a whole wheat wrap, and it's a rotisserie chicken and apple wrap. This one's great for this season. I start out with some fresh spinach, and spinach is packed with lots of antioxidants, especially good for the eyes. And then top it with some thinly sliced apples. My favorite to use are Gala, but you can use whatever kind fits your fancy. There's so many varieties in season, especially this time of year. And then some shredded rotisserie chicken. This is a great lunch item that you can make up the night before, keep in the fridge, and it's ready to go for you to take to work the next day. And then some fresh, lots of feta. You could use blue cheese. You could also put roasted walnuts in this. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Okay, so then roll that up, and you've got your apple and rotisserie chicken wrap on the go. Now, the thing that I like to make this, I call this a mason jar salad dressing, and it is made with apple cider vinegar, some extra virgin olive oil. I always have any extra virgin olive oil I use with water. That way it decreases the fat content, even though it's healthy fat. So we don't want to be afraid to use all that healthy fat. But then I also added some raw apple cider vinegar. I love this stuff, and it's got to be raw because it's super, super healthy for you. It is a natural anti-inflammatory. So wherever I can get this in, I try to. Then we added about a 1/4 teaspoon celery seed and a 1/4 teaspoon garlic powder. Give that a shake and it's ready to go. Now, this is another one of my favorite things to do if I'm making some kind of a dinner for another family or somebody that's sick, is to put the dressing element in a mason jar. Just kind of a nice fun little touch, and it doesn't get messy at all. Okay, so that was idea number 1. Idea number 2 is my personal favorite, and that's a quinoa bowl. In case you haven't heard of quinoa, this is the stuff. It looks like quinoa, but it's pronounced quinoa. What it is it's a grain that's grown in the Andes Mountains originally, and it's super high in protein. So it's a little bit unusual because typically grains aren't that high in protein. This one's high in protein and fiber. It cooks up just like rice. So I boiled 2 cups of chicken or vegetable broth and then added a cup of quinoa. Turned it down to simmer, let it go for 20 minutes, and it's perfect. There's no way to ruin quinoa. It's absolutely delicious. So I filled a bowl. This is an individual kind of a serving. Very hearty though, and this is kind of my Southwest version of a quinoa bowl. So quinoa, and then I added some drained and rinsed black beans, some either fresh corn or corn that's been frozen, and then I like to top it with chunks of creamy, delicious, good for you avocado, maybe some cilantro or parsley, and just toss and eat. It is so good, so filling and hearty, and this is another good thing to take to, if you're going to visit someone that you're caring for and it's just one person, this is a great individual healthy bowl of deliciousness that they're gonna love. You could also drizzle ranch over that. You can make so many different, you can make an Italian version, whatever you wanna do. So speaking of Italian, idea number 3 is a rotisserie chicken rotini pasta bake. And this one I often do with my kids because it's easy, it's fast, and it tastes delicious. So what I did was I cooked up some whole wheat rotini pasta, you see right there. And then in this dish or in another casserole dish, I took about a whole shredded rotisserie chicken. And then couple of my favorite ideas to do to add in some vegetables are just to take cherry tomatoes. I don't even take the time to cut them. I just toss them right in because they're gonna burst as it bakes. And then I like to take a zucchini since they're so prevalent now. So I like to find ways to use in-season ingredients since they're inexpensive. And they're also gonna be the ingredients that are best for us because fruits and vegetables that are in season have the most nutrients. So I like to make zucchini ribbons, and then what we did was we tossed this all around together, as you can see, and then we tossed it with a pesto sauce. And then sprinkled on top of that, some feta, some Parmesan cheese, and some shredded mozzarella. And then I kind of drizzled the rest of the pesto sauce over that. I would bake that at 350 until it was hot throughout. And then I like the cheese to get nice and toasty on top, so I'd put it on a low broil just for a couple minutes. And that is your dinner for a family. So that's a quick, easy family dinner. So idea number 4 is for comfort. And this time of year, I love to have a big pot of a soup or stew going on the oven. And again, especially to take to people if I'm caring for others. This one is so, oh, look at that steam. This one's so nourishing. It's so delicious. All it is some chopped onion, carrot. What else do we have in there? But hunks of butternut squash. And look at that rotisserie chicken. It's just falling all over the place. It's shredded. It's so delicious. I seasoned it up with a few teaspoons of poultry seasoning, some fresh ground black pepper, and some sea salt. And then I also added some zucchini and then just some torn kale. You could use spinach, you could use kale, you could add in your favorite vegetables, leave some out. What I love about this soup is that there's no heavy carbohydrate element. So it's going to be great for those that we're caring for that have diabetes or are battling other things where they have to watch or control that carbohydrate element. Butternut squash and the other nutrients in this soup are packed with immune boosting properties. So it's going to be great this time of year. And if you wanted to make it a little more hearty, you could always serve it over a big bowl of rice or something like that. So there you go. You have Rotisserie on the Run and 4 great ideas that you can use in your own kitchen or share with me your ideas. I'd love to hear them.